Okay, let's go get the Necromancer's Amulet, which I'm sure was taken with absolutely pure motives and the best interests of the guild. I mean, what could possibly go amiss? Nothing has happened up to this point that would lead us to believe that anyone in the guild could possibly be anything other than 100% completely loyal and working in the best interests of the guild and everyone involved, right? Right. There's a certain level of naivety with Archmage Traven that, I don't know, he's crossed some line into insanity or something. It's absolutely ridiculous. I understand being good-hearted and trying to think the best of people, but when those people are doing their best to prove you wrong and that they really do mean you harm, then at some point you might want to just go with that and accept that maybe they aren't good guys. Some people are just like that. There are some people that are inherently good, but, you know, for balance, you got to have some people that are inherently assholes. And they're usually the ones we have to deal with in these RPGs, right? They're not going to be reasoned with. There's a reason we have to kill them. There's people like that in the real world, too. That's why you go to war. Well, actually, sometimes we go to war just for profit and for political reasons and all kinds of other subversive stuff. But when it really comes down to it, I think there is a time for that, when your peace is being threatened, when your well-being, especially if you're not an aggressor. If you're on the receiving end of aggression and you've done nothing to warrant that, then, you know, like if your only crime is just existing and somebody else has a problem with that and they decide to kill you just because you exist, yeah, you're allowed to defend yourself. That's what war is about. That right there. And in this case, Traven would have been well suited to
You'd better
take a more aggressive line of action way back when. I hate to say it, but his naivety and his misplaced good-heartedness, and I put a little heavy quotes on that, sarcasm, good-heartedness, well, it's just, it really kind of crosses over into just stupidity, actually. But it's actually cost people their lives. Naively thinking that you can just send out it probably should have cost us our life a dozen times over already. And his just inability to show any kind of common sense. He's certainly not fit for any kind of leadership position. I mean, if you were literally to set him aside, I think his response to anything you would say is, how could anyone possibly have any animosity towards the guild and just not understand? People are dying around him and he still just doesn't understand. Yeah, that's a kind of out of touch that when you get a leader like that, it's dangerous. It's dangerous. It's like a timid driver on the freeway is the one that causes the most accidents. Can't drive scary. You just drive. You drive defensively, but you don't drive scary. And get people killed that way. Same example. Lots of mages here. Did you get that foreboding sense that this isn't going to end well? These people are being all nice and polite and everything, but I get the feeling they're just waiting for the order to charge, you know? They had some loot laying around, but they exploited Traven's naivety to take what he considers a very powerful relic out of the Mages Guild during a time of war to come off here and hide somewhere with it and Well, they wouldn't possibly be delivering that to the enemy, would they? You know, I mean, seriously? Has he ever, at one time during his entire tenure as Archmage, ever said no to anybody? I wonder. I guess the fact that these necromancers are so deeply rooted that they've wormed, to get at the little pun there, you know, with the Mana Marco. Anyway, they wormed their way into the guild and into all of its inner workings and stuff because of his inability to do anything other than turn a blind eye. Once again, and that's cost people their lives. And he's responsible for that. Directly, indirectly, doesn't really matter. Leadership position carries responsibilities, and he's apparently not lived up to a single one of them. It's worth some money. I can carry it. I mean, might as well. We'll sell it later.
Well, this is quite a surprise. I thought you were Traven's lapdog, doing whatever he said. And yet, here you are. Good that you've finally seen the light. The cause will benefit from your assistance. What? You're here to take it back to Traven? Oh, my dear, I'm afraid you're in over your head. I don't answer to Traven. I heed only the word of Mana Marco. When he has the amulet, his power will be increased, and Traven will be helpless to stand in his way. You, I'm afraid, won't be standing at all. I promise I'll make this quick. I'd like to have you mostly intact, so Mana Marco can suck the marrow from your bones.
Must you be so dramatic?
Die, damn you!
Die, damn you, die! I kill you! Wonder where people like this think they're gonna end up when they wind up on the wrong side of their masters. Fortify, willpower, intelligence, magic 130 points. Nice, nice. Okay, so now we need to get out of here. That's the tricky part, right? Didn't we pass like 700 mages on the way in? It's like, yeah, we'll fight the mages, but I don't really want to miss much loot on the way out, so let's try to keep our eye out for chests as we hack our way through the hordes of angry magicians. Yeah, they're all pretty aggressive. Okay, well, it is what it is. Something to be said for a dagger and its quick ability to stagger and even block. Now, blocking with a shield is more effective than blocking with a weapon, but I wonder in Oblivion if there's a big difference between blocking with a dagger and blocking with, say, like a warhammer or two-handed sword. In Skyrim, I believe there actually is. There is a distinction. More damage is going to seep through from a larger weapon through a smaller weapon. In other words, if you're blocking a great sword with a dagger, more damage is going to seep through than if you were blocking with, you know, another great sword, or warhammer, or, you know, battle axe, or whatever. Or even another one-handed weapon like a regular sword, or a mace, or something. Yeah, they block faster and swing faster. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, okay, well, I'm in for it now, aren't I? Shield 50%. Much more useful than the Breton passive in Skyrim, which is just absorb a portion of magicka for a really short period of time. Maybe enough time for one fight, you know, that type of thing. I actually forget to use it altogether in Skyrim. And this one, though, it definitely comes into play. I could have used it actually a lot more earlier on. Definitely does make a difference. Physical defense, you notice their little dagger strikes are barely getting through.
Get this over with!
Okay, seriously? She's definitely fast. Yeah, she's aggressive. I can't even hit her. She's blocking everything, and then it takes me 10 minutes to swing again. Well, this bitch is really annoying. Holy crap. Why is it some mages have, like they're unkillable? They get down to like 10 hit points, and then you can just swing on them for 30 minutes, and they just take no more damage for a while. I'm sensing a pattern of this here lately. Sometimes an enemy just... Yeah, bitch. There. I had to kill you 15 times, but you're dead. Here, let me make sure you're dead. And more dead. And more dead. And if it weren't for this video, I'd be sitting here doing this for about an hour and a half. Just to make sure. Give Mana Marco nothing to work with to raise you back up. I'm totally looking forward to streaming this with you guys and running around. And just like that bitch is right there. With those cool-looking ass Daedric daggers, which I think are... I've decided that is, in my opinion, the best-looking weapon in the game, the Daedric dagger. Very cool. It's got a cool style to it. And just clothing. We'll rely on shield spells, and it won't be, honestly, a whole lot different than armor. Here's the downside to clothing, is that to get any kind of armor rating, in other words, if you plan on being anything resembling a melee-type character, you've got shielding spells and you have shielding enchantments, which can give you a max armor rating pretty early in the game. But you set aside basically all of your enchantment slots for that. What I mean by that is all your clothing items. Those are basically your enchantment slots. Those are, I don't know, let's say if you were playing any other RPG, that would be like your empty slot for a gem type thing. Is each item you're carrying is an opportunity to buff yourself with something. Fortify this, help you with that, give you extra skills in this, or extra, in this case, shielding and stuff. So if you want a shield or armor rating of, say, like 85, I believe, for one, I don't think necessarily that if you put a 20% armor rating, for example, or 20% shield on something, that it gives you a full 20 points to armor all the time. Your first one might, but then I think you start getting diminished returns. So it might require essentially enchanting an entire set to get anything like that. What I would probably go for is always keep a simple shield spell available. Get, what is it, Alteration? Get Alteration up, and then have a shield spell off to the side, and get the clothing to where between your clothing and a spell cast, you can get a full armor rating. And get, honestly, probably higher defenses earlier than you would just wearing armor. Although there is something to be said for putting shield spell on top of armor also. But then the upside is you're so much faster. You have all that extra carry weight. Your entire set of clothing might weigh 4 or 5 units of weight instead of 100, you know. And that's extra room for loot. And not to mention it doesn't impair your movement at all. Another downside is that you don't get to train in armor skills because you're not wearing any. So if you're taking hits, you're taking those hits for free. But on max difficulty, you're not going to be taking a lot of hits anyway. Training in armor is easier said than done in that even early on, oh my gosh, if you could be wearing a full set of, what do you have, iron and steel early in the game, and a mud crab can still 2 or 3 shot you. Now if you had a bunch of shielding spells on your stuff, might be able to last a little longer, but still you're going to go through most of your healing resources and stuff trying to just stay on your feet while, you know, mud crabs or rats are, you know, snipping at you and chewing on you and stuff. It's much harder to train, simply for the fact that the enemies are doing so much more damage. Yeah, there was a lot of mages. Look at this. Yeah, hordes of mages. Mage apocalypse. Wow, look at this. They heard it was going down over here and all decided to join in. Probably need to put more enchantment on my stuff. Yeah, they'll just basically stun lock you. They may not knock you down with their daggers, but they keep you from swinging. They stun you enough to where you can't really do a whole lot. Yeah, how do you like that, bitch? Okay, now it's 1v1. Now that your 50 friends are out of the way. Haha. You had that other bitch that just would not die. Just gotta make sure Mana Marco has nothing to work with, so I don't have to worry about fighting this guy again later. Alright, let's get out of here. Yeah, they dinged me up a little bit on this one. I think without the magic resistance, this would be so tedious. We'd be using a lot more poisons, to be honest. It's more of a convenience thing, I guess. But we'd have to use a whole lot more poisons to get through these guys. Kill them, essentially, just that much faster. Nice, well-hidden loot chest right there. I'll take it. Now, Skyrim, it's one thing to stick to, like, just basic weapon types. Like, right now, what are we running around in? Clothing with just iron daggers type of thing, taking advantage of alteration and some poisons and some other type of stuff similar. In Oblivion, there's not so many, really, buffs as far as that goes. And I don't know that there's such a big difference between an iron and Daedric dagger. I just like the way Daedric daggers look, to be honest. And, I mean, seriously, when your damage is reduced by, 6 times, if you're doing 6 points or you're doing 12 points, how much of a difference is that really? Not a whole lot, in my opinion. So, run around with what looks cool as far as that goes. I think max difficulty with just a dagger, no shield, and clothing, I think that's challenge enough. If you can do that, I think you pretty much got the game down. Now it's just a matter of just having fun with it, Alright, so I'm going to guess Traven's not going to be out of his quarters. What the hell happened? Ah. Yeah, see, they're rooted here. It took me all this work to get in the Arcane University, and here these assholes.
Paradise.
Apparently those strict entrance requirements didn't dissuade these assholes at all. Or the guy was able to come in and convert already established mages from within the guild. Anyway, let me wait for a time when I figure Traven's probably going to be out of his quarters.
Have you recovered the Necromancer's amulet? Karanya turned on the guild? I don't understand. She was one of my most trusted advisors.
I can't believe it. This tool.
With each passing day, it seems. I fear where this will end.
No, it doesn't grow more dire. It's been like this, you dumbass.
Enough for now. Thank you for returning it. Before we continue, you should speak to Raminus Polus about your advancement within the guild. Bye.
Yeah, this dude, he's a danger to himself and everyone else. Seriously.
I can truly consider you an equal, and so grant you the rank of Master Wizard. There is no higher rank which I can bestow upon you. You have my congratulations and my thanks.
Well, I guess there's nowhere else to go but to the Archmage's office from here, right, Master Wizard?
Time is against us, and our enemies grow stronger. There is much to do and little time in which to do it. Your next task is essential. Word has been sent that the Necromancers have been quite busy creating black soul gems for their master. In particular, a unique black soul gem has been crafted in the south of Cyrodiil in the ruins of Cylorn. This gem needs to be confiscated and brought here before it can be delivered to the King of Worms and used against us. No, I have need of it. I believe it may be instrumental in saving our guild. I will explain once you have returned with it. Until then, discussion is useless. I've spoken with several individuals I cannot name at this time. Count Hasseldor has also provided valuable information, as you well know. A contingent of battle mages has been sent to the site. I would like you to oversee their actions on my behalf. The only thing that matters is that gem. Do you understand? Once you have it safely in your possession, return here immediately. Know that you have my complete confidence. I would not entrust this job to you if I did not feel you were prepared for it. Now go. Farewell.
Now, in this case, there actually is a reason he doesn't come with me.
Hello,
You see
Master
some
Wizard.
sort of plan here, and it's noble, it's honorable to an extent, but it's also a matter of him paying a price for his inaction. Being in that position of Archmage, his inaction is just as has as much impact as bad actions. In this case, let's see where we need to go next. So I guess I'll meet you guys there. We'll go grab this great black soul gem, or whatever it is. And we can come back on the next one. Anyway, till then, if you want to subscribe, you can click that button up top. If you want to catch the rest of this playthrough, you can click that image in the middle. It should send you straight to the playlist. Appreciate you watching, and I will see you on the next one. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.